G'day guys, today I'll be installing the Hard Korr 6-bar LED light kit. Now this is a dimmable tricolour setup. I'll be hard mounting it into the back of a Canopy, but it is good for portable use and whatnot too. I'll show you how to install it, mount it and all that jazz, and we will be doing a quick little unboxing before I go through and just give you a rundown of everything in the box. Thank you. Right, now, so included in the box, you've got your box obviously. Now you've got the case that it comes in, which is, as I said, it's in a carry case, so it can be ripped down and put back together whenever you do need it, as it is a portable solution, but I will be hard mounting it in this installation, and also your user guide, which includes all the usual how to use it and how to install it. Right, so included in the kit is your hard case. Now you've got two latches on these, which have got lockable latches, which there is keys included. Inside, we've got two 30cm light bars. You've got four 48cm light bars. You've got your power adapter, which is a cigarette socket in this case, but we will be cutting that off and wiring it straight to a fuse block. Now this has a splittable end on it, which included is said splitter. Now that splits your power to your two dimmers, so that can distribute the power to the rest of the light bars. So what we'll be doing in this case, we'll be connecting that to the splitter. That will split to these two dimmers, which are also included. I'll show you in a minute. Now there's also extensions for these, so if you do need to extend that further to another spot, you can do. You've got your two dimmers included, which, as I said, has the power input. And then the orange is your light bar input, so that'll go to a light bar, an extension or a splitter, depending on what you need. Now there is two of these included. There's a 5 meter extension for the light bar. Remember, orange tips are for light bars or the lights, and the black tips are for the power. You've got 4 3-meter extensions. You've got one light bar splitter. Included 16 pole clamps in case you want to clamp this to an awning pole or whatnot. You've got your keys for locking and unlocking the box, and your warranty registration. Right, here's everything laid out. So as I pointed out before, you've got your light bars, you've got your power and your power extensions, and then there's all your light bar extensions over here. Now there is these little pole connectors I was telling you about, which is included. And they just spin on, as you can see, and that will just clip onto a pole. Now you've also got these little caps, which I didn't point out before. Now these are just for capping off ends where you don't need them, so if this doesn't need to go anywhere else, it just screws on there. Like so. Right, now as shown before, you've got these dimmers here. Now these are your main on and off switching. Now this is, let's get that focused. So you've got your up and down for dimming, so brighter, darker. You've got your on and off for power, and then you've got your mode button, which swaps between colours. Right, so as you can see, I've mounted one of the lights already. Now I did actually try and use the magnets, which they stick well, but you would not do it in a permanent location, as this is in a full drive. It's probably just going to rattle loose. The magnets are strong enough to hold them in places and whatnot, but there's not much to actually take them down. So what I've actually done on the one that's already up there and this one here, I've just got some 3M tape and just put it on the edges. On the big one I put one in the center as well, and I'm just alcohol wiping it to clean it up, sticking them up there, and then I will wire them in afterwards. Right, so as you can see, I've installed the light on my door inside the Canopy itself, and you can see over here is the controller itself. Now to connect these together, I'm going to run the output of the controller around the back of my panel here to the top light. This light here is going to link into this one just here, and this one's just going to be capped and just tied up out of the road. Alright, so as you can see, it's just a better view. There's the controller there with the little plug. It's going to wrap around, come into this plug here, which connects to the top light, and that plug there is just going to come back to the door, which is above you now. Now you can see this is a similar setup. There's the big light there, which is just off frame a little bit. There's the one on the top again, and then just to our left here, you can see the dimmer there, which will be the same thing, linked to from the power into there. We'll go up to the top one, and then the top one will go to the side one. Right, so I've wired up all the light bars, so both on this side and the other side. Now the ends have both been capped, but as I said, I'm leaving the rest of the kit in my ute, so if I do pull up to a campsite, put my awning out, I'll be able to unscrew this and hook the other 2 light bars that I've left in the kit as onto my awning or wherever I want to put it. Now, what I've done to test it, I've just linked up from a cigarette socket just for now into the bottom of this plug into my dimmer just to test it. Push the on button, she's on, all the buttons work, so you've got your modes and on off, and the dimming up and down works. So I'll get onto the other side, finish that, and we'll go from there. And just to show you what I've done for the testing of the power, like there's the little cord hanging out the bottom of the dimmer. That's just running down to the big extension cord that goes to the cigarette socket up there. And as I said, on off, all the buttons work, so it does the job. Right, so now we're up to running the power. So what we've got here, we've got these black cables coming out of the dimmer here and the other side. Remember, they're exactly the same. Now, this is running to the splitter. Now, there's a splitter which I showed you at the start of the video. Now, that splitter is going from this dimmer to the splitter, then the other dimmer to the splitter with via an extension lead. Then the main input of the splitter is going from my... Sorry, I'll go back. So I've cut the end off it, which is obviously a red and black wire. Red will go to our positive of our fuse block up here, and then the negative will go to ground. And then once we've got all that in, we'll give it a test and see how we go from there. Now what we have to do from here, we'll take our fuse panel off. You can see I've already got 3 fuses in there being used. We're going to use this 4th one down here. Same as the last one, we're going to cut off the end, twist it, put a ring terminal on, and then whack him on this little lug down the side here. Now you can see that once I've screwed that down, that little LED's come on, which is indicating that that fuse is blown or there's no fuse in the circuit. Right, so we've hooked up our 12 volt down here. No fuse yet because we're not doing that until the very end when we want to test it and we know we're all good to go. So we'll just leave that for a minute. Now we've got our neutral here, which we're going to strip, or earth, sorry, not neutral. Strip it, twist it, cut it, twist it a bit more. Gonna get our crimpers, put him in the blue one, push our wire through, just so it's sticking out, squeeze it, give it a little test. Sorry about that, I had to block the camera a little bit. Just pull that little wire through. Right, so I've got a 5 amp fuse here. Now I have opened up the cigarette socket that I cut off. This one here, I took that screw out and looked inside and there was a little fuse. And I found it was an 8 amp, so I'm getting a 5 amp. Right, so I'm just going to explain why I put a 5 amp fuse in. Now, there was an 8 in the cigarette socket, but the reason I put a 5 in is because on the box it states that the 25 centimeter light bars are 0.35 amps and the 48 centimeter light bars are 0.7 amps. Now, the two 25 centimeter light bars, that adds up to 0.7 of an amp, and then the four 48 centimeter light bars add up to 2.8 amps. Now the total of that is 3.5 amps, so 5 amps is well more than enough. Right, so we've got a fuse in. You can notice that light's gone off because the circuit is now created and it's obviously detected there's no blown fuse. This light's on over here indicating we have power. Now we can put that cover on. You can notice lights work. Perfect. So same thing as before, the dimmer is in here. Alright. On, up, down, and colours. Now, my idea with all this is we've got this extra plug down here. Now, I've got an awning up there, and my idea is when I've got the awning out, I'll plug the extra 2 LED bars that I don't have plugged in now into this, and I can connect that to the poles on the awning or somewhere else in camp, as I've got probably 10 meters of extension if I really need it, but I don't think I need to go that far. So I've also got the splitter, so I can split those if I need to wherever. And it's night now, so you can obviously see nothing at the moment. Good indication right there is that little red dot, which is actually a little LED on the control panel. So if it's dark like right now, you can actually find your way to the control very easily. And all I know is right underneath it is the on button. Currently got it set to the orange for the bugs. They actually get pretty bright, so we'll turn the brightness all the way up. On the orange you can actually see puts out a good amount of light. Like obviously in the video you won't see it as good as I can, but it does a very good job. And then you swap it over to the white, sorry. It's even better again. And there's the middle range as well, where it's like both orange and white, but I don't really use that mode too much. Mostly use the yellow, to be honest. And there's that other light there too. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.